Call the meeting to order, February 4th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Spence?
Here.
Dr. Ross?
Here.
Administrator?
Present.
Mayor?
Here.
Solicitors absent, fiscal officer present, Mrs. Dameron's absent, Mr. Mattern absent, and Mr. Merriman.
Here. Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have the minutes before you from our January 7th meeting. A motion be in order to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. I'd like to go into executive session to discuss legal matters. Motion be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Motion to come out of executive session.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
All right, thank you. Those who would like to speak before council, Christine Fensky is called. Come forward, please. State your name and your address, please.
Christine Fensky, 132 Meadow Road.
You have the floor.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak this evening. I've lived on Meadow Road for 16 years. This past Saturday evening, going into Sunday morning, my husband received a parking ticket for breaking a city ordinance. I paid my husband's fine. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because I've lived here for over 16 years on the same street and never have gotten a parking ticket for parking on the street. Why now all of a sudden is the ordinance being enforced? I don't have parking. I don't have the room to park all 3 vehicles in the driveway. I wanted to know, could it be because a salt truck hit a parked car on January 25th of this past year and he left the scene without letting the owner know that he hit her car? Is that why we're enforcing the no parking on the street during winter? In 2007, Meadow Road got new curbs and made it more narrower. Just a few houses on my road have a pull-off, but I wasn't offered that option when they put it in. And they also have a sewer drain in front of my house, so I wouldn't know where you would put a pull-off now anyway. As I was driving home Sunday evening, I ended up behind a salt truck that was going down into my subdivision, and I know he was not going the speed limit, and I know this because I wasn't even able to stay behind him. I have been told plenty of times myself that I didn't go too fast down my neighborhood to slow it down. So I know watching out of my window, watching the cars and the salt trucks, that they're going much faster than 20. And maybe this is also why the same salt truck driver also had a car accident just this past Monday that was on News 9 that I just don't understand. The ordinance states that you can request a parking permit, but I have tried to call the administration office about this, and they sent me to the police department, which in turn sent me back to the administration department. She told me that she would look into this and get back to me. I'm still waiting. In the meantime, I was told I can ask for a parking variance to park on the street. So I need a parking permit. The weather's still gonna get bad, and I don't wanna get another ticket. That's it.
Okay. There's a lot there. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to try to hit these in different segments of what you're referring to. The first issue of the car being hit by a snowplow, that's still under investigation, and that's a legal matter that we really aren't going to discuss tonight. But that has nothing to do with this issue.
Well, I was just,
Well, it doesn't. For 16 years I've been here. For 16 years we've talked about snow, cars on the road, and they've been getting ticketed for 16 plus years. If you watched the January 7th meeting, this same topic was brought up. Cars were ticketed in December that were on the road. We have a very severe, more severe winter season this year than we've had in the past. I have 3 plow drivers. When one plow driver hits a car or gets in an accident, that driver is removed for up to 72 hours because they have to get a drug test, they have to get an alcohol test, and they have to pass all of those before I can get them back on the road. Now I'm down to 2 drivers for 72-hour period. It's very difficult to do these roads and keep them clean and passable for safety issues with 3 drivers, let alone 2. So those vehicles on the road they're in the road, they're in the way, and they need to be removed. And they need to be, that's why we ticketed them. But this has been happening because you didn't get one for 16 years. I can't answer that question, but I know for 16 years I've been up here, and it's been a very major bone of contention for our drivers, the safety, and also the safety of the residents. Because if I have to take drivers off, typically what will happen is those roads, Meadow, Garden, Rex, Leonard, if you go through the village, we have very steep hills. If we don't get to them in a timely manner, they're very difficult to clean. And if someone has a heart attack or an issue, we're not going to get an ambulance down there into those subdivisions. So we have to all work together to keep those roads clean and try to keep those vehicles off the road. And that's what we're attempting to do for public safety. As far as variances, we haven't given those in years, okay? And I did speak to council. If you look at the ordinance, it probably needs to be reviewed a little bit so that maybe some changes can be made. But I've had cousins yell at me they got tickets. I've had neighbors yell at me they got tickets. And unfortunately, they all paid them. And I mean, it's not the answer you want to hear, but we need to get the cars off the street for public safety.
I didn't come yelling at you.
Pardon?
I didn't come yelling at you.
No, I'm not yelling. I'm
You
just
seem to be
going.
raising your voice at me.
Well,
giving
it's
me a
not my
lecture when
intent.
Well,
It's-
it wasn't my intent to come here and give you a lecture.
I'm not-
That's not why I was standing up here.
I'm going through the facts of why we're doing it, okay?
I get that, and that's fine.
And some of the facts that we're doing, we've been doing it. It's not true for some of the reasons that you stated of why we're doing it. That's not the case at all.
Okay.
The case is public safety, to keep Wintersville's roads as clean as possible and better than any other community, and we want to keep it that way. And we want to keep our drivers safe, we want to keep our residents safe. And, you know, the other issue you bring up, you know, the same driver in an accident. Here's a car that came across to the other lane and ran into him. Luckily, I think it hit him instead of another car. Someone probably would have been killed because his car was totaled and he came all the way across on the curve down by J&J's on Canton Road. Again, not his fault, you know? So, I mean, and again, what happened? He was taken off the road. So I had to take him off the road, drug test, alcohol test, 72 hours. And again, it puts public safety at risk.
Well, then what do I do about a parking permit?
Pardon?
What do I do about a parking permit?
We're not giving them. So
But it states in the ordinance.
it states in the
that
ordinance you can go to the street committee and place your case. If that, I mean, my suggestion, we're not going to do any for 2021 season. I've asked that we look at the ordinance, look about revising it, and then let people in the summer come and ask for those. And then we can go and investigate the reasons why you need them. Okay,
So-
that's what we need to do.
I'm still just supposed to get tickets this whole rest of the.
You got to find a place to put your cars, unfortunately.
You have to, or are you putting that on me or you or the city? Because back in 2007, they made pull-offs, but we weren't given that option.
Well, I don't know who made options and who got pull-offs, who didn't.
I don't either. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah. Bottom line is you have to get your cars off the road.
Where? They made
Maybe
new
a neighbor,
curbs, you
maybe your
can't-
neighbor will help you. I don't know, but you have to get your cars off the road.
Okay.
It's public safety.
Okay.
Next, anyone else? Mr. Lockhart.
Good evening, Council. Robert Lockhart, your representative to BHJ. I'll give a slight report with regard to the meeting that was I attended January 20. There was a new election of officers for the Executive Committee. It was a thank you to Thomas Graham. He was the chairman last year. With regard to, there has been a they have to develop and circulate a draft with regard to overall work program and financial projections for the next 2022. There's a deadline of March 1st that's got to be completed They're in the process of doing that and submitting it to ODOT for review purposes. With regard to there was an amendment with regard to one of the resolutions on behalf of Weirton Transit Authority. They're requesting some modification to the TIP, Transportation Improvement Plan, whereby they're looking at purchase of a couple of buses and some other modification of some of the requests they had in the past. It's rather detailed. I'm not going to get into all that at this time. Jefferson County, with regard to Jefferson County ODOT, main thing is Route 7, University Boulevard's about 95% complete. Route 22, both. There has been a contract to do some minor resurfacing this year, and that will cover a period of out west down to Route 7. So there'd be some minor inconvenience, but it's an upgrade of the road and it has to be kept going. Mike Dolak, City of Steubenville, updated with regard to the recreation plan for the marina. That's going to be done with the grant that they received in the near future. I talked to our administrator tonight briefly with regard to Omega has some funds grants for recreational purposes. And I found out through Walt, it's not listed in what I received, but there's a minimal amount of money that has to be spread across Jefferson County, $37,000. And he feels that there's insufficient reason to justify us trying to get the grant because most of it probably will go down to Steubenville anyhow, but $37,000 over the county doesn't go very far with regard to recreation and improvement. So it's up to his decision with regard to if he wants to entertain looking at that. Next, I have the report with Steel Valley Transit Authority, January 21st by teleconference. First item, overall ridership is down 23% for the year 2019 and 2020. There was Wintersville took a real hit with regard to 40% decline in ridership over that period of time. Overall, financially, there was a dip in the financial income as a result of the pandemic, basically. That's why the ridership is down. In connection with the bus service provided, it's still good, justified, even though the weather's been bad. The big point is people should know that after the bus comes in for the night, it's completely sanitized and serviced by representative of the maintenance department. And the seating arrangement based upon the direction of Steel Valley has been orderly taken care of by the customers, or they're spaced out in the seating and they have to wear the mask. So they're doing everything possible for the benefit of the community. Excuse me. With regard to an audit that was just completed covering fiscal year 2019, there was a couple of requests on the state of Ohio under the auditor's department. Overall, we did well with regard to the operation, but recommended an upgrade with regard to the accounting system. As a result, there has been an agreement with a CPA in Zanesville to oversee the QuickBook accounting system that will benefit, and that's been implemented as of this year to meet the recommendation of the audit. We also have late news in December. The longtime administrator, financial secretary, retired. There was an attempt to find some new individual. Fortunately, they did, and she started work in January. and she's getting up to speed with regard to the accounting system, and I hope it all works out. With regard to, generally speaking, there is has been a long-term in 2019 to the current, the main office, the main building where the buses are stored, and the terminal building where you can wait in line to get on the buses, that area in between has a real problem with regard to the concrete. And there has been a contact with a firm that is evaluating the condition of the concrete, and it's projected to be over a complete rehab of the concrete area this coming year, hopefully. With regard to Weirton, the transit agreement between Steubenville Transit and Weirton is there, but they haven't had a chance to meet to discuss the routing system that they're entertaining with Weirton Transit because of the pandemic. It'll be done this year, hopefully get that thing accomplished. Again, overall, the ridership is down, can't do much about it because of the pandemic, but other than that, service is good. The new plan with regard to the routing of the bus service has been implemented, and that will be projected in the download of apps that people can entertain with regard to getting to the service, where the vehicles, the buses will be, time-wise. So they're doing everything possible to benefit the public with regard to the service. That's about it. Wrap it up for those two entities at this time. There was no Seven Ranges Fire District. It was canceled in January. And Rita is doing well. They're collecting, I've got no complaints there with regard to the funding, and that's being received through Denise. Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question. Yeah, do you think the ridership is down
Yeah.
because the ridership, you think it's down just because of the COVID, or did you guys
No, it's
reduce?
because of that, people staying home.
It's not just the cost, it's just, you guys didn't adjust the costs or anything, it's just because of the COVID.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, they're doing everything possible to benefit, try and make the service available and it's safe, but people are just
All right.
afraid to come out.
It's still $30 for a yearly pass for
Yeah,
unlimited rides.
Yeah, I didn't know if they adjusted it to try to pick the ridership back up,
Yeah.
or if we just do this, the COVID
Maybe it
itself.
will turn for the better, but the bus service is doing a good job with regard to safety and secure with the pandemic situation.
All right.
Any
Thank you,
questions?
sir. Thanks for all your help.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak tonight?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I want to thank you for hearing me. It's about the parking issue, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
And what
I'm
it
sorry,
is-
what's your name and your address?
Dale, I'm sorry, Dale Jones. I
What address?
reside at 148 Starkey. Okay. What our situation is, we have a steep driveway, very steep, and we own two vehicles. Well, the one vehicle got ticketed on December the 17th. The other vehicle is parked in a handicap spot. Okay, it didn't get touched. Well, we knew the snow was coming on, Christmas Eve into Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we moved the one vehicle that previously got ticketed and assumed that we were okay to park in the handicap spot. Well, on the 31st, it got ticketed. Okay. I understand your situation, but I have pictures, anything, and you're welcome to come over on our property at any time. We'll gladly show you and give you our explanation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
My suggestion for this year is, unfortunately, is to get your cars off the road. And we will, call the administration, get your name and address, and when we redo the ordinance, we'll go back and investigate, the reasons why you believe, you need to park on the road, and we will look at it and see if there's a true
Yeah.
safety issue, or, if it's warranted.
Okay, well, I'd
So I think that's really what we can do for next year, and that's what I would advise every resident to do.
Okay.
Get your car off the street for this season. Next year, early June, call the village, get the administrator, and we'll get the committee together, and we'll research and look at every one that's asked, and then we'll issue a yearly permit if it's advisable.
There's no way you can get anybody over any sooner, just to take a quick look and...
I don't want to open it up to everybody because I
Yeah.
can't right now.
Well, it
I'm
is
sorry.
a handicap spot, I want to
Well,
remind you.
I didn't think we were ticketing the handicap spots. I didn't think so.
It did get it.
Yeah, I didn't think we were.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not,
I'll speak with the chief on that because I don't think we were.
yeah, it did get ticketed, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone else like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Reading of ordinances.
I think the agendas got this backwards. We passed ordinance number 2021-02, which was to sell the vehicle last meeting. I think this is the second read on 2021-01, which was the solid management waste
That
plan.
would be correct.
Okay, all right. Did the chief have something?
Regarding ordinance number 2 and that vehicle, I got issues with another vehicle that I may have to request that ordinance be removed if possible, because I may have to take another vehicle out of service due to some issues that have recently arisen within this last week.
What vehicle are we speaking of?
The vehicle that we're having trouble with, it's a 2010 Chevy.
So in essence, you want to rescind ordinance 2021-02?
I would,
Is that
yes.
what you're asking?
Yes.
All right, we'll do that after when we get to my reports.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead. 21.
Yeah, this is actually ordinance number 2021-01. This is an ordinance approving the solid waste management plan of the Jefferson Belmont Regional Solid Waste District. And I believe that's the second read on that.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Ordinance number 2021-01 is an ordinance approving the solid waste management plan of the Jefferson Belmont Regional Solid Waste Authority. That's a third read.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2021-01.
So move.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Thank you. Motion passes. That's it for ordinances. Mayor's report. You have before you the mayor's court report. Total revenue brought in $7,667.49. Village received $6,379.50 of that. State $1,113.60, and other $174.39. You have the police report for you for the month of January. 135 complaints, 267 incoming calls, 6 accidents, 31 cases, 10 alarms, 4 juvenile cases, 27 traffic arrests, 3 criminal arrests, 65 parking violations, 2 vehicle impounds, 7 out-of-town assistance, 0 stolen cars or bikes, 0 dog bites, 0 missing persons, 57 auxiliary hours, 1 canine use. You have money collected from old fines of $1,714 for a total so far collected from 2016 to today, $106,093.50. You have the code report before you, 6 licenses, 450, 11 permits, 575, for a total 1,025. So the chief is asking that ordinance number 2021-02 be repealed.
And just as a legal matter, we have to do that since we enacted it by ordinance. I'll have to repeal that
Okay.
by ordinance. So why don't I
We're
just
not
do
selling
that?
the car, so
Yeah,
we'll get it out.
Yeah, I'll just
Okay.
draw it up next meeting. Well, for next meeting.
Perfect, thank you. Administrator.
First item on your list, I don't know if we need the executive session for property negotiation. I have sent to Mr. Becker the easement for the right-of-way. We have a copy of the map where it comes off of Canton Road to the back of the building, just as we had shown and talked about in the past. I've spoken with the new owner of the building across from the street garage, and everything seems fine.
No one objects. Solicitor, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I have also spoken to Bill Blake. He represents, I believe, Peterson's Carpeting, the seller in this matter. We've discussed that. The only thing I need, and I tried to get a hold of Mr. Blake today, is, and Walt, maybe you have that information.
I do not, but I will get it to you the
Okay.
first of the week.
Yeah, I need the actual tax mailing address of the grantee, or I'm sorry, of the grantee that we're giving this easement to, and I need the legal name of the entity. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Provided you receive all of that, you're okay with this?
Yes, I am, sir.
Motion be in order to approve this based on the solicitor receiving the information required.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Second item, just an update on Phase 5 sanitary sewer. They're finished on the Rex Avenue area, except for pavement replacement. Rex and Russell, they're pretty much finished on Stardust. They have some of the lower part behind the homes to do. While it's frozen, they're going to try and get onto that. They've done some work behind the Morelli complex. They'll be working behind the subway around the Riesbeck property also, the former Riesbeck property. It's going fairly well. There's a bunch of uncovered or buried manholes that they've uncovered and raised, and but no major issues to date.
This is another item I'm getting a lot of conversations and calls about. All the properties will be put back in order in the spring. So if you hear from anyone, I'm getting calls, I'm getting pictures. They will all be reclaimed back to or better than they were in the spring.
Okay. My next item is I have an emergency repair quote for the Woody Acres pump station. There's 2 pumps in that station, which only operating one now. And as you well know, that takes everything from the county industrial park, Walmart, county engineer, the correctional facility, everything out that way comes to us. One of the rails is pulled loose from the well, rendering that pump useless. Some of the plumbing and check valves are not functioning properly. And the electrical panel is outdated and obsolete, and it is only running on manual control now, not automatic. The quote is for a little over $37,000. The last item with the variable frequency drive, we're not 100% sure if we're going to go with that yet. So we could be anywhere between just $32,100 and the $37,100. I'd like approval as an emergency to go forward with this with the maximum of the $37,117. We have funds in the sewer replacement and the sewer R&I to cover this. Again, that, as I said, that brings in a lot of sewage from the county areas, plus our Squirrel Hill lift station pumps into that, Kings, all the homes right there in that area, and then it's pumped under 22 and down through Garden Drive.
Refresh my memory, please.
Yes.
Because is it anything over 25,000 needs quotes?
Not for an emergency.
I get that.
Right.
For emergency knows, but that's the number. Being this is being done as an emergency.
Believe it's
Is
50,000.
it-
Yeah, I thought it was
That's what we were
50,
talking if
yeah.
it went up.
I think it's.
Yeah, I think it went up to 50,000. I'm
Yes.
checking on my phone here. I don't have my code book in front of me, but I
The bottom
believe
line
it
is
was
this is an emergency replacement. We do not need 3 quotes. If the council's so willing, I think we need to move along with this.
Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, I understand we don't need to bid it, but we should at least get 2 quotes.
The question is, what, this is causing damage. It's an emergency of sewage backup. I mean, I'd like to have had 2 tonight, but he has 1. I have to move this forward, or else things are going to back up, and
Okay, I'll go
understand.
along with that tonight, but anyway, for now on, try to get
I
two
understand,
two
exactly,
quotes.
I
mean,
do. I do understand your comment, but I think unfortunately in this situation, I think I'd ask you to move forward.
Okay, one other question. This contractor that we're going to use, do we ever do any business with these guys?
We have
before?
not, but they've done a lot of business down at Mingo wastewater plant, and one of the guys was working in the wastewater industry that Bruce knows also. So they have the experience, yes.
Okay, are they, because I was looking at some of the electrical part on this, are they a general contractor, or are they a union contractor? What are?
We're not allowed to ask that question.
No, but they have to pay union rates. We can't ask.
Okay, wait a minute, who can ask?
You can't ask if you're a union contractor.
We can-
I can't ask you, or you can't ask
We
them?
can't ask
can't
them.
ask
We cannot ask them.
Okay, well, then I ask you later.
You will get the same answer.
No, you said I couldn't ask them. I'm just saying I can ask you.
Well, you could ask him, but he can't ask them, so he don't know the answer. All he does know is they got to pay the union rates.
Oh, well,
Okay,
that's, as long as they do that, I'm
Yes.
fine.
Okay.
And just for the clarification, the competitive bidding rate has gone up to $50,000.
Okay, thank you.
It's up to 50?
Up to
It's up to
50.
50, so we don't have to bid this by law.
You don't have to bid it, but
Did
you
I
still
get a
can
motion
get
yet?
2 quotes. What's that?
What's that?
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
A second? Okay, thank you. Now questions.
Well,
You're always going out of order.
well, I'm not the first one
That's
ever been
okay.
out of order.
That's
but I'm
okay.
just- When you start talking about that kind of money,
I get it.
I just want to know, we have 2 quotes on it, that's all.
Understandable.
Yeah, but so next time, try to get 2. I know it's an emergency, but still,
Okay.
in emergency, when you dial that, do 2
Okay.
up. Okay, thank you.
Is that a backup pump or does it run concurrently with the other one?
They alternate.
Do they?
They alternate, yes.
Yeah, we can't let the other one burn out.
Correct.
Right.
All right.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Okay, last item, just salt usage. We did have a fairly good batch in the bin. We used approximately 800 ton in December, had a little bit left over. We purchased 500 ton early January, used 400 ton through the month of January. As you know, those snows, as we were plowing, it was covering up behind us. We ordered another 500 ton this week. I believe we got 3 truckloads today. I didn't get a final on that. And that leaves us with 200 more ton to order this year. So we are kind of low right now. This 500 will get us back up. But these storms in December and January hit us pretty hard to continuous snow.
Well, again, luckily we had a large surplus coming into the season, and we took a major credit last year, by not ordering all we needed. Next year, the budget's going to need to
Bump it up.
suffice and go up for this.
And
Any comments or questions for the administrator?
that's all I have.
Seeing none, we will move on. Any unfinished business?
None.
None. New business, Mr. Merriman.
Nothing.
Ms. Jean Angel.
Nothing.
Mr. Becker.
Nothing, sir.
Dr. Ross.
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Spence.
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Martin.
You forgot my name. How's that order? No new business.
Excellent. We have no transfers, correct?
Correct.
Motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, all roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Dr. Ross?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
I gotta look at my calendar, sorry. She didn't put the date on here.
Should be March the 4th.
Yeah, that's correct. Motion to adjourn until March 4th at 7 PM.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you, meeting adjourned.